Hello and welcome to Driver's Seat and to Audi's all-new second generation Q5 SUV. Now at launch it's available with two engines, both 2 litres, one of which is petrol and one is diesel. Both however come with Quattro as standard and a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox. You can pick from 3 trim levels, SE, Sport and S Line. So if you know the current Q5 you'll instantly recognise the new one. But it takes the latest design themes from the Q7, so you get a much more aggressive, larger front grille, newly designed headlights, and then this crease that follows the car from front to back. At the back, the rear tail lights have more than a hint of Q7 to them, but I think they look actually better on this car. But it retains the same look as the previous Q5, so you get the same clamshell style boot lid. So prices for the new Q5 kick off at £37,170. We're testing the 2-litre diesel in S-Line trim, which costs £40,290. However, this version comes fitted with over £6,000 worth of optional kit, including the flat bottom steering wheel, the virtual cockpit, S Sport suspension, and many other things. But in here is very familiar to the current Audi A4, A5 range, so you'll feel right at home if you know those cars. There's plenty of storage, there's a big deep wide door bin, there's a small anti-slip tray up there, somewhere to put your key, and under the centre armrest there's a wide and well-sized storage area with this slidable optional extra phone charge cover which uncovers 2 cup holders. To get comfortable, I have a pump lever on the side to adjust my height, and there's a rotary dial for backrest. I've also got electronic lumbar support. The steering wheel adjusts well for tilt and reach, so most people should be able to get comfortable in here. In the lowest seating position, which I'm in now, headroom's not too bad. So this model comes with the infotainment screen, which is controlled off the centre console with a scribble pad. It's clear, easy to use and easy to read. There's a 3-zone climate control whilst you get hill descent and drive select mode. Now drive select gives you options for off-road, efficiency, comfort, auto and dynamic if you're feeling a little bit sporty. The automatic gearbox has a sport mode and these steering wheel mounted paddles. But let's have a look in the back. So back here there are adjustable seats, so you can either lower the seat with a lever down the side or adjust the angle of the backrest. Getting in's pretty easy, and I've got decent leg and knee room, whilst headroom's not bad. I'm 5'9", much taller, and you're going to be getting quite close to that ceiling. In between the seats is a drop down armrest with a pop out cup holders for 2 bottles. While the boot comes with a standard electrical tailgate and opens to a nice size, you get this load cover and there's plenty of room in there for my box. There's a small bit of storage under the floor, but you can also release the seats in front of you quite easily. There's a couple of bag hooks as well. So let's get this Audi Q5 on the road. Sitting here is like any other Audi nowadays. It's well made, it's simple and easy to use, and it's luxurious. The 2-litre diesel under the bonnet develops 187 brake horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, and that's enough to get the all-new Q5 from 0 to 62 in 7.9 seconds. Now Audi claim this will return 56.5 miles to the gallon on a combined cycle and emits 132 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now maximum torque is available from 1750 revs all the way through to 3000, whilst max power kicks in at 3800 through to 4200. There's a little bit of hesitation when you pull off, and then you get everything at once, which is where you can develop a little bit of wheel spin before the Quattro system sorts it all out. Now that's a clever 4-wheel drive system that generally drives the front wheels and then kicks in on the rear with traction as required. Outside the car you do hear a little bit of diesel rattle, but it's not too bad once you're inside. The engine can be quite vocal under harder acceleration, so you will generally try and avoid that. The gearbox does a good job of keeping the engine in its max torque and power band, but it's not the smoothest changing. You feel a little bit of a lurch as it does change through those gears if you've got your foot flat to the floor. However, driving along more casually, you won't feel it. There is a firmness to the ride, mainly down to the S Line sport suspension and the larger alloys, so through bigger bumps you do feel it and you do hear it. However, smaller undulations are easily ironed out the road, so it's only really the bigger bumps and scars on the road that you feel. Bumping down this road, it's not particularly comfortable, and it is disappointing. Even at lower speeds, the ride's quite firm. I'd be minded to either go for the optional air suspension or steer away from the S Line setup. It's also quite floaty when you go over a series of bigger bumps and undulations. You can feel it just wait to settle back down. Handling wise, it feels heavy. They've lobbed out 60 kilograms of weight, but it just feels really heavy. As you go into a corner, it feels heavy under braking. It doesn't particularly want to play through the corner. There's quite a bit of body lean into this corner now. You feel it leaning on the outside wheels as the body leans in. It just feels heavy. Also, if you don't pick your turning point correctly and maybe a little bit late, you'll find this drifting really wide in a corner and you have to snatch it back. Steering becomes a little bit too heavy in dynamic mode. Generally, this car is better set up for cruising along. It's certainly no sporty SUV, and because of the road noise and engine noise, it's not really that refined either, which is a real shame because there's a lot of promise that this car is. It's certainly no match for a X3 or an F-Pace. Well, the Q5 has been brought bang up to date with modern styling and new technology, but for me it just misses the mark. It doesn't have a good enough compromise between comfy ride and sharp handling. It's a bit of neither really, and that's really disappointing whilst the engine's lethargic. Thanks for watching Driver's Seat. Let us know what you think of the all-new Q5, and remember to subscribe to our channel for free.